And welcome back to Healthcare Sucks! Hey, it's been a day or two, hasn't it? Well, I've been doing a few things and doing a lot of research, guys. I hope you have been too. I know as Team 99, you guys are out there always beating the brush and seeing what's fact and what's fiction. I hope you enjoyed the outdoor videos and stuff. Unfortunately, in doing some work up on that hill with those pretty little horses, we found out that the people that were taking care of the horses, the actual owners there, had severe mold and stuff that they had growing in the hay, and were actually feeding the animals that. So unfortunately, I had to take some action on that part for the animals. But you can bet your behind that we will be watching these people after they tried to pull some really sneaky stuff. So I just thought I'd tell you, where there's beauty, dig a little deeper. There's sometimes not so much beauty. So back to the road. A lot of different things going on right now. I'm going to jump into one thing real quick. This thing with the social media with the president. We all know, if you do YouTube, Facebook, any of that, that we've been edited, no matter what side of the coin you're on, what side of the fence, that even if you're in a certain state, you've been more or less muzzled. Not just the face mask thing, but muzzled in what we can or cannot say. And, what's good for one is good for all. What's fair for one side should be fair for the other. Freedom of speech should be freedom of speech to discuss whatever you want, as long as you're not threatening somebody, to put them in harm. That's what America's about. In many other countries, your freedoms are the same too on a lot of that. And some of you don't have those freedoms. I feel bad for you guys. So with that being said, one tit for tat, one thing led to another, and they do keep pushing it. I myself on Facebook and other things have seen some really ridiculous stuff. I'm going to peek at the camera and make sure it's running tonight. And it looks like we're good to go. Touchy. You almost can't live without that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as the social media and all this overbearing dictatorship that we've been led down the road, why they make millions and billions of dollars and take away our freedoms and try to influence elections and the way we eat, the way we sleep. A suggestion, if you're really looking for something, is kind of nice, but it's creepy to think that people are actually climbing inside of your head or your home or your child's head or your children's bedrooms and whatever, sending them suggestions and watching their movements and recording everything. I think it's gotten a little overbearing and out of control. And this started back when Bush, with the 9/11 thing with Homeland Security. We don't need one government to overrule the rest of them. That's what Bush Daddy had always wanted, and he got his wish with 9/11. Now, whether you believe this way or that way about 9/11, I suggest you go out there and watch the YouTube stuff, if it's still out there. You might be surprised. So back to, I guess tomorrow's the big day. We're going to see what's going to happen with the executive order. I personally can't even guess which way he's going to go or what he legally can do or can't do. But I do know, as being edited and had my stuff pulled several times, and all I do is try to bring you guys the truth and help us get to the bottom of what's really going on. Something needs to happen. And I am the least one ever to say more government control. However, maybe we need some government control to make it equal. Okay, that's all I'm going to say, except for tune in tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So, we're going to talk about more. I'm going to do several different videos tonight. This one, we're going to talk about this child who has sickness and what they're doing. So I'm going to jump into that. I want you to check this out, and then I'm going to let you know what's going on
in 60 seconds, our NBC News exclusive inside the mission to save precious time for children battling that mystery illness. Now an NBC News exclusive inside the race to develop a new blood test to identify that mystery illness striking children likely related to COVID-19. Here's Willem Marks.
Tonight, 4-year-old Taya Fernandez could be a key in the fight against a mysterious disease possibly linked with coronavirus. Just 10 days ago, she was in a British hospital fighting for her life. Her mother, Shannon, had already recovered from COVID-19 when Taya started to get...
Her mother had already recovered when she got it. Okay? This thing about the spreading, guys, and the face masks and all that. Face masks are good. Face masks are bad. Go back and watch my videos way back, and they said face masks were absolutely not effective. So, we've been led to believe, whether it's a veil of some sort of religious thing going on that I can't mention, or my video will get pulled, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys kind of know what the veil situation is, which I'm kind of leading down that path, that a lot of this is pushback from that sort of situation, along with a control factor to just get everybody to do something, guys, when in reality it's not stopping things. As a matter of fact, it's still spreading, and we're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, as America, you're going to have to go out and do things, or want to go out and do things. Now, I understand everybody's worried about getting this or getting that from somebody else. We also need to go back and remember where this came from real quick. This was, again, I've said this so many times. It's like, I know you know Team 99. By the way, if you've never tuned in, this is Healthcare Sucks, where we don't candy coat. We tell it how it is. And the Wuhan monster is still out there knocking on doors. Don't kid yourself. And he's getting ready to make a second round. But they don't want to talk about that, do they? Well, we're going to talk about it in this video. We use the Fair Use Act. Nothing here is real. And we haven't all been locked up and still going to be locked up for quite a while. So, this thing about a new test to get the kids and whatever. I'm not going to candy coat this, guys. This is a genetically engineered bioweapon from China. Period. We've traced it. Go back and watch my videos. It's more than proven where this thing came from. If you go back, you even see spreaders, the guys wearing the masks with the little plate. Come up and hug me and give me your change. They sent out spreaders too, guys. I mean, if you don't watch my stuff, go back and watch. I covered all this. So, not only did they engineer a bioweapon, and I no longer believe this was accidental at all. This was an act of war. Period. This is not a joke. This is flat out WW3 bioweapon released on the world. Now it's, what will we do about this? I'm not the president. What will I do? And I suggest you guys do? Stop buying stuff from China immediately. It might take a little while for us all to cut off. Might have to pay another $1 or so. But we'll know where it comes from. We'll know it's safe. I mean, while the toys, the food has poisoned our kids and been toxic. They poison our dogs. They sucked up a bunch of the supplies when they really didn't need them. I went into that too. They had factory cities that were retooled. They never went without a thing. And the elites already had the vaccination. They're already immunized against it. Don't kid yourself. President Xi is fully protected, and his main people all around him are. And we still, to this day, have not heard or seen anything about one Chinese military person being sick. One. And when you don't hear about one, the only way there wasn't one is even if they were hiding it, guys. They were vaccinated against this before they released it. There's other things going, guys. If you don't think that if we don't keep on this as a country, and you as different countries out there, guys, watching, that they won't sneak in the back door and reactivate something much worse than what they've already done, you're wrong. I believe this was just part one. And then in addition to that, I've gone into, this is a beta run for something much bigger. So it was a combination of several things. But don't kid yourself. There's something more going on. So let's watch this for a minute and then we'll talk some more.
Sick. What was hurting the most?
Belly.
Was it your belly? Did it really hurt? At first, doctors insisted it was nothing serious, but days later her temperature continued spiking.
And I think that's when they got worried and they phoned for advice.
Coronavirus does not impact most children, but Taya had a rare and potentially deadly condition that's affected hundreds of kids worldwide, including in New York State, where 3 have died.
Now, when this doctor talks, I want you to pay close attention to what he says. And I want to tell you before, as a spoiler, what's going on. This is a genetically engineered monster bioweapon, guys. It's made to mutate. It's made to change. It's been out there changing several times all along, and it's not done. And there will be a second dose of this. And we're going to go into it later in another video on how people are carriers. Like I just said about the duck face guys and Hug Me from China that sent them all over the place. Go back and watch my videos. The guys were out there doing these things. It's not fear porn. It's not some kind of I need ratings or whatever. Because guys, you know, I don't do this for the money. I do this to bring the truth out. And there's a lot that needs to come out, guys. So let's check what this doctor has to say.
It was difficult for her doctors to diagnose Taya because her symptoms kept on changing and they came in a strange combination. Now, researchers inside this London lab are racing to find a fast, accurate way to identify this frightening new syndrome associated with coronavirus that's striking some kids so hard.
Did you hear what he said? Actually, he wasn't a doctor. I think he was a news guy. But he's stating the facts of what they're doing. Excuse me. So with that being said, what they're trying to do is get a test out so they can mark everybody. I believe, and you know I've been doing this a long time, and this is not a conspiracy theory. I believe they are really searching for people with certain DNA and certain bloodlines out of this as they go through. And I think those people are the ones that are most at risk for what's coming. There is some really bad things. If you're awoken, you know what I'm talking about. You know, with CERN and other people monkeying with things and opening gates to other places. And we're living in the end times, guys. Go back and watch the 7 seals, 7 bowls, 7 trumpets. There's no way that you can't say we are not living in end times. And I'm not doing this to scare anybody. I mean, because a lot of people now are all warm and fuzzy and think this thing's all over. Well, part 1's over. But there's more to come, and there's more going on. Guys, they don't lock down America. They don't lock down every country in the world as efficiently as they did. And yes, the numbers are high. In America, we hit like 100,000 today, guys. That's huge. But the flu is equally as devastating as far as numbers. I'm not saying they are two different dogs. They definitely are, and one's still mutating, guys. We're not done with that. But there's other things going on. And that's what I'm here talking to you about tonight, is the other things. And go back and watch my videos. I covered it over and over and over what's going on. I'm going to try to set up something. Like I said, we had to rebuild the studio and get things going. You know, I went through camera problems, phone problems, but I'm back again. And I do come in, and I've never left you. I love you guys. But I've been doing some research myself too, and you got to pay bills. You can't just play and have fun forever, you know. You've got to pay the bills. So we just need to always be watching when they're telling us, look here, look over there, look up, look behind you, listen to part of what they're saying, but then listen to this other part. That's Team 99. You know how to do it. You guys are like been around with me for a long time. I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you things are not right. I don't know when they're going to get right. You know, this thing about opening up everything and it's all going to be warm and fuzzy and we're going to go back. We're not. I don't want to crush everybody and just tell you, but this has gone too far. There's no going back, guys. We're not going back to what we had before. I don't see concerts like we used to have, ever like we used to have, again. And that's sad. And why? Because of what China did. And because of what all the governments are doing now behind our backs. So with that, we'll watch another few minutes of this.
Inviting us inside the lab that's leading this urgent effort, Professor Mike Levine, who first helped identify this mystery illness.
There are some distinctive markers in the blood which allow us to distinguish it from other conditions.
The symptoms include a rash, high fever, and stomach pains. The scientists say they're now closer to designing new blood tests that will confirm its presence immediately.
That will mean they can make sure they get the right treatment given.
You heard it out of the horse's mouth. Markers in the blood, guys. They admit, you got to read between the lines. They're looking for these things. Yes, they're looking for the tie-in and all this. I agree. Another thing, when you watch the news and you watch these people like her, she looks all warm and fuzzy. Watch her actions, watch her eyes and stuff. A lot of these things are set up for the news. They're not. We've covered that too. That they actually come out and they set up a story. That's what they're doing now. That's what they've been doing during this whole thing. Watch it.
Early, which can prevent the need for critical care and poorer outcomes.
Taya's now recovered. Her case experts say one of many, speeding up the development of those tests.
Once identified, the disease is usually treatable, and these scientists told us if your child has any of those symptoms, be sure to consult a doctor. Lester?
Okay, and so it is treatable, and you recover. That little girl looked really sick, guys, with the lips and everything. That scared the hell out of me as a parent. But read between the lines again. They just said it's treatable. We've only got a few cases of this. I think New York had less than a dozen cases that were fatal. I think it was more like 3 or 4. Okay, the flu again kills more than that. So we've got to read in between and go on. Real quick on the opening and everything. Again, we've got to have our freedom. Summer's coming. They knew they could not hold everybody in a gilded cage forever. It's just how it is. They're not going to be able to. So again, I've kind of said this before. They were successful. They accomplished what they wanted, guys. Everybody's turned into plastic. They're talking about eliminating the dollar. That means every penny you do, say, whatever, will always be traced. There'll be nothing between people except for bartering. And I'm going to start teaching you more and more on the bartering and helping you guys get ready. Because it may be the only way to survive. I mean, we all survived this, knock on wood, so far. And I hope you do too, and did. And I prayed for you guys to be there with me and to survive this and have food and whatever. Really strange things out there, by the way, not to change, but the food and the meat and all that, we need to keep an eye on that, guys. We're not out of the woods there yet. So this thing about running out and everybody getting tested, and there was a time when nobody would volunteer for these kind of things. Now everybody wants one. They've made it like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where you're going to get the golden ticket. Everybody's buying into this and buying bars. Well, I'm not. Me and my family are not doing tests. We're not doing these things. I can't tell you guys what to do. It's not my job. I just give you the facts and let you make the decision up where you want to go with this. So I think we're going to end this, and we're going to jump into a next video. I hope you've enjoyed the shoe. It's a really big shoe. Yeah, I can't do Howard. He was one of a kind. And remember, healthcare sucks! And we'll be back in another video real quick. God bless you all, and have a good night, and thank you. It was great seeing you, all of you. No matter where you're at, no matter what you do, no matter what you've been through. And I know, I missed you guys. It has, again, I've really been looking between the lines. I urge you guys to. Anything you see out there, by the way, if you can get something recorded, do it. Send it to me. Some of you have sent me other places and other information. I do go check that out. I try to comment when I can. But privately, that phone right here, your phone, your devices are the best tools that you could ever have. Because there's things that together we may be able to put more of this puzzle together. We're not far from now in solving more and more of it. But we all need to work as a team. And what team are we? Team 99. And healthcare sucks! Over and out.